that song so fun? One of our, so fun, right? One of our consultants, Brooke, shared it in our chat, in our group chat a couple of weeks ago. It is a song by Abel Hart called Let the Money In. There you go. All right, Christy's got it in the chat. Amazing. Thank you. And I've just been jamming to that all morning, and I felt like it was an appropriate vibe for this event, talking about power and profit. We are so glad that you all are here. If you can, turn your cameras on, be present, be visible. We want to see you. We want to connect with you. I think that that is so important on events like this. You know, it's easy to be multitasking or hanging out behind the scenes, and you will get what you put in. That is what I will say. So everyone is here for a reason, and I would love to hear from you as we kick off in the chat. What are you here for these next 2 days? You were attracted to an event called Power and Profit. I will share a little bit more about what inspired me to put this together for you today, but I want to hear from all of you, and my team wants to hear from all of you in the chat. What is it that's speaking to you about this topic? So share it in the chat. Let's see what's resonating. And while you do, I will share a little bit about why I wanted to create this event. And I'll share a little bit more about my personal story and journey for those of you who I have not been able to meet or connect with yet as we go on this event. But I have seen in my life the transformation that happens when I have learned how to be in my full power. And power can be a loaded word. So we'll talk a little bit today about how I think about it. I'm going to want you to define it for yourself too. But to me, it means no longer playing small. It means being willing and available to live as the fullest expression of you, to start fully trusting yourself to go for what you want all out in sales, in business, and in life. And I have been blessed to have a dramatic transformation in my life over the past 4 to 5 years as I've really, embodied this material and practiced it in my own life. And I really wanted to create a space with this event to empower others to do the same. We had a beautiful mastermind on Friday, and let's see here, Sarah, you were there, Cindy, you were there. Is anyone else here who was there? I think those are the two who are present right now, here at my home in Maine. And the intention behind it is very similar to the intention behind this event, which is to create a space where you can come in and unapologetically state what may feel like a really big vision, what may feel out of reach, or you have no idea the how on it. But it is speaking to you. It is calling you. For some of you, that means building a multi-million-dollar business. For some of you, that means, making President's Club in your corporate career and buying a lake home for your family and doing all the things that are on your vision board. We serve a beautiful community of both entrepreneurs and sales professionals. So you'll hear me speak to both groups today. And we do serve, as you'll see, represented on this call, a lot of women. So you'll hear me say some things that are specific to the women. And we also serve some really incredible men. So shout out to the men, by the way. Barry, happy belated birthday, my friend. I'm so glad you were here. I hope you had a
Thank
wonderful
you.
birthday.
It was great. Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let me check and see here in the chat what we are seeking. William, more fabulous coaching business wisdom. So we are going to have time today for a couple of live coaching sessions with whoever wants it. So maybe two, maybe three. We'll see how much time we have, but be thinking as we go through this content about what your question is, because I'll call on a couple of people towards the end to receive some customized coaching. And that is very much the heart, the spirit, the soul of what we do here within our company. It's very similar to what we do on our group calls as well. And I wanted to create a space where you could come in and not only be poured into, but you could also have the opportunity to receive some personalized coaching and bring whatever shows up for you with this. Let's see, Kat is saying, I'm here because I want to be a living, breathing example of what's possible. I love that. And you are. You absolutely are. That's beautiful. Cindy, confidence, clarity. Yes. Dorothy, every time I listen to Elyse, I get so much out of it. Oh, well, thank you. And I always pay attention to when I'm listening to someone and it resonates deeply within me. Um, if some people call, who is it who calls them truth bumps? Someone says that's not, is that, I don't know. Someone says that. And I pay, like, sometimes I'll get that. I'll feel like chills or I'll feel expansion in my heart. And the way that I pay attention to that is I know, okay, that is my soul's truth. We are, bombarded with so much information out there and so many people, nothing wrong, but just on different levels of consciousness who will try to convince you, like if you listen too much, that your vision is too big, that you should play smaller, that you're thinking like that you want too much. And one of the things that we teach and believe, and I was training this on our consultant training call yesterday, is that your desires are green lights. So paying attention to what it is that is speaking to you, that's a desire, whether it's you want to expand into a larger home for your family, you want to leave your job and start a company, you want to be on some of the biggest stages in the world, right? Though whatever that is pointing you in the direction of you being in your full power in your life. And there is no other choice that will have you feeling satisfied, fulfilled, content. Any amount of playing smaller than that is going to leave you feeling dissatisfied. So just knowing that the only confirmation you need that something is meant for you is that you want it and that you desire it. All right. And so really, I just want to encourage and edify all of you with that. And Dorothy, I know I went on a bit of a tangent there with, with your comment, but I say all of that to say, pay attention to what feels like truth in your body today and tomorrow. Pay attention to what resonates, pay attention to what feels expansive, pay attention if you're maybe hearing someone talk about their transformation, or you hear me talk about someone in the community and they have a result and you're like, oh, I would love that. That's because that's possible for you. All right. That is because that's possible for you. Rebecca, living into my next level self during a career change. Yes. Discovering what I want, how to make it easy and bring my greatest service to the world. I love that. And sometimes we're in those in-between moments. How many of you are in an in-between moment right now in your life? Yeah. Those are beautiful opportunities to release anything that's no longer aligned and to really get clear about what am I doing in my life from a place of should? What am I doing just because I've always done it? Versus, as Bob Proctor said, what is worthy of trading my life for? And making sure that the next thing that you do, the next chapter of your career, of your business, of your life, is worthy of trading your life for, because that is what you were doing with everything that you spend your time on. Corey, truly stepping into my power and no longer looking to what's reasonable or logical. Yes, 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 yes. Beautiful. We actually, we wrote a book about this last year. So I don't know how many of you have read this. Some of you on here are co-authors of it as well, which is really fun. Permission to be powerful. So we, myself and a number of my clients in the community co-authored this book. And I would, go check it out. You can get it on Amazon and read it. But that is a lot of what we're going to be talking about today and tomorrow, is getting out of just what it is that you think you can do or what it is you think you can have, and then tapping into what I like to call the soul aligned desires. Like, what do you really want? What do you really want? So with that, I will share a little bit of what to expect today and tomorrow. I also want to let you all know, if you are not already on the group Marco Polo chat for this event, is there anyone in here who's not on that or has no idea what I'm talking about? Because I want to make sure that everyone is clear. So hold on, let me decline this call. I don't need that. So sometimes this probably drives my team crazy and y'all don't need to acknowledge. But when I do anything, I want to feel excited and lit up and inspired about it. And I want to tap into not just what is it that we've done before, but what is it that I'm really feeling called to do. And with this particular, and sometimes that can mean that my team is like, hey, what do you want to do with this? What do you want to do with this? I'm like, I'll tell you when I know. So shout out to my team for working with me in that way. It's just how I work. But with this event, I wanted to do something fun and different. It's something we've never done before, which is rather than have like a Facebook community or have, nothing, just like the calls, we actually created something that we currently really only offer for our higher level clients. So like mastermind private clients, which is a group Marco Polo. If you're not familiar with Marco Polo, it's a free app. You can download it on the App Store. Kat, thank you for popping the link to the group right in there. So it's right there in the chat. So you can come in and be connected with me and the team throughout the event here in Marco Polo. So I would highly encourage you to come in. Again, it's a completely free app, but for our higher level clients, that is how we communicate. That's a lot of how we do coaching in between calls. You can send video messages, you can send voice messages, but I wanted to create just a really, I'm going to say it, just a cool feel around this one where you have a bit of what the experience is like to have more intimacy and more access. So that is live now. If you haven't yet hopped on Marco Polo, please do. Please say hi in the group, introduce yourself. After we're done today, we'd love to hear your biggest takeaway from day one in there. And then the group will go away after the event. So take advantage of it while you got it. But we just wanted to create and do something really different with it. So get signed up on Marco Polo, say hello, introduce yourself. I'm in there, my team is in there. And the other thing I would say is that each and every one of you on this event has a success advisor on our team. And this person is here to help support you. They are here to help answer any questions you have. They are here to help you go deeper in your journey with us if you desire additional support beyond this event. Kat's given the, I love it. Kat's saying hi. If, by the way, if you are a success advisor for this event, if you will raise your hand so that everyone here can see, perfect. So we have a really incredible group here to help support you. And everyone who is a success advisor on my team is someone who has personally been through the programs, who has had their own quantum leap experience, who is highly vetted, who lives, breathes, embodies this material. And so reach out to them. If you don't know who your person is, who your success advisor is, you can email my team, assist@elysearcher.com, or you can even just ask in the chat and we'll make sure that you get connected with your right person. But I would strongly encourage you to book a call with them today or tomorrow. They'll help you get on their schedule and dive in deeper with just what's showing up for you around this material and what it would look like for you to be in your full power, way more profitable, way more financially abundant in your life, and then help you craft a custom plan to get there as well. So it is not a high pressure sales thing. It is a supportive thing. We are here to help support you. And tomorrow we'll talk about our programs that are available, and we've got an upcoming event that I'm incredibly excited about. We're doing something different with this one than we've ever done before. So we'll talk more about that. But we highly vet people who are coming into our community. And it is more of an application process feel, just because we care a lot about making sure that there is alignment for those of you who we're coaching and working with beyond this initial event. So we'll share more about that tomorrow, but I would say go ahead and book a call now with your success advisor to get on their calendar, because these people are also very busy and they have a lot going on as well. So with that, playful out, camera on if you can, journal out. We're going to be doing some journaling. I'm going to take you through a guided visualization today as well to connect with the $1 million version of you, which is going to be really, really powerful and beautiful. Like I said, there will be an opportunity for live coaching today because I want to go deeper into this with all of you. And so today's going to be more about stepping into your power. Tomorrow is going to be more about profit, money, wealth consciousness, etc. So, really good things. I'm excited. Are we excited? Are we ready to go? Are we ready to roll? Okay, let's do it. Let's go, y'all. So, I'll share just a little bit of my own personal background. And I always love on these events, like seeing so many beautiful familiar faces and then seeing who has been brought into our community, who's new. And by the way, if this is your first event or if you are new in the community, you can raise your hand or say hi in the chat. We want to support. I love it. I see Zoom user. I'm sorry, I don't know who you, who you are. You can type your name in the chat if you like. We're so excited to have you and to support you. And one of the things that I have seen is that people come in and it's never by accident. It's never by accident. When you come in, when you're connected with us, even though every person's story is different and every person's vision is different, some of the common themes are that you are ready for far more. You are ready for expansion. You are ready to stop playing small, even though that may feel scary, or the phrase I use is butt clenching, or that may feel uncomfortable. And we are here to help support you in that. And I always say, like, sales is the Trojan horse of our brand. So our brand is built around helping you ascend and earn far more in your business and in your sales career. And there's a lot of deep personal transformation that happens along the way where you really step into your full power. You do stop playing small. And so I just know already that for those of you who are here, who we have not yet connected with, there's some element of that probably going on for you right now. Corey's saying it was an event like this that changed my life last year. Oh my gosh, I love it. And look at what has happened. Corey is, she's a member of our community. She's been through 10K Club. She's one of our consultants right now as well, launched a nonprofit recently as a result of this work. And she is truly embodying this work as well. So I highly agree. Dig deep and own your worth. Absolutely. So just a bit of my own background and why this topic, I think, comes from my soul when I speak to you. So I was someone who checked a lot of the boxes for success throughout my life and my career, and went to college, graduated, got the corporate job, started earning six figures pretty early on, got the house, got the car, did the things. And by my late 20s, I was someone who looked probably like I was pretty successful on the outside, or at least now I would say, oh my gosh, girl, you were thinking so small. But at the time, I felt like I was doing the things that I had seen to do to be successful. But what I wasn't telling anyone at the time was how much I was struggling inwardly, struggling with anxiety, struggling with even panic attacks. I was in a marriage, a relationship that I am now fully aware I attracted because of who I was at the time, and I take full ownership over that, but it was not a good one. I will say that. And struggling with an eating disorder, and I was really in a lot of shame and hiding in my life, and felt like I was in a place where I didn't know how to get out of it, and really had lost who I was. And that is part of what inspired me down the path of personal development. Actually, there was a point in my career. At this point, I was in outside sales and I was driving a lot to go visit customers. And I didn't like being alone with my thoughts at that time, because the voice in my head was so loud that something needed to change, but it felt so uncomfortable that I discovered listening to podcasts. And so that was actually what opened up the door to personal development. And it ended up being beautiful. And I made a lot of quick, what felt like very scary changes at the time. Left the marriage, left my corporate job. Six-figure corporate job. That was like my security at the time. And by the way, you should never make your job your security. You are the creator of your reality. You are the creator of your results. But at the time I did make it that. And so that felt uncomfortable, and went on a journey of trying to figure out who I was, what I wanted in my life. And one of the things that was really common in my experience, or that was part of my experience back then, was I felt like I always had to work so hard to get the results that I wanted. How many of you can relate to that, where it's like I felt like I had to grind all the time? I felt like I had to hustle. I felt, yeah, very same, yep. Felt like I had to force and push results. And no matter how hard I worked, I was always stuck at the same level, right? So something's off there, right? If I'm working harder and harder and harder, but always stuck at the same level. And yet I found that for a lot of the members of our community, they can relate, or they've had some experience that's similar to that. So I started seeking out a different approach to business, to life. I did a lot of deep healing, healed a lot of the eating disorder, the anxiety, a lot of the inner work. Met an amazing new man who's the father of my kids. We've been married almost 8 years, and we got two little boys, 4 and 2, and then I'm 9.5 months pregnant with our third kid. So we've, it's beautiful, like how everything has come together in that. But fast forward 10 years, and well, maybe not quite 10 years. How many years? I don't know, 7, 8 years, something like that. We'll go with that. Fast forward, I had transformed a lot in my life, and remarried to a beautiful man. Had our first son, Jack. He was a couple months old at the time, that I had what I call like my first quantum leap experience, which inspired a lot of what we're going to talk about today and tomorrow. Had built a pretty successful coaching business, doing a lot of personal branding and doing work in the sales space. And yet there was this one thing that always still felt really challenging. And that was earning and bringing in the amount of money that I desired in my life. All right. And so for me, and again, I want every one of you to really tap into your own personal vision of what you want. So I think that's really important to know and to understand what it is that you came here for, that you want, the amount of money that's going to support your life and your fullest expression, because money is just meant to be oftentimes the how of your vision. It's not the vision itself. So I didn't really understand that for a long time. So even though I was at a point in my life, this was, gosh, maybe 4 or 5 years ago now, where so much was good and better than it had been. When I was in my late 20s, struggling with all those things, I still felt stuck. I still was having a lot of anxiety around money. I was still having the experience that no matter how hard I worked, I would always earn right about 6 figures, even though I was now full-fledged entrepreneur, unlimited earnings potential. And while there were a lot of things in my life that were good, I had a yearning for something far greater. How many of you can relate to that? I had a yearning for something far greater. And I was at the time helping a lot of really incredible entrepreneurs, sales professionals, build their brands, build their businesses, speak on some of the biggest stages, working with literally like 8, 9 figure entrepreneurs, top 10 podcasters in the world, New York Times bestselling authors, helping them with their sales and business strategy, which I was very grateful to do. These are phenomenal human beings. And it has always been an honor to work with them. And there was a part of me that would look at that and say, I want to have that level of impact. I want to be able to change that many lives. I want to do something like that with my life. But yet I was hiding, and I was making excuses as to why it could happen for other people, but not for me. All right. And so I would look at someone like that and say, well, they've been doing it longer, or they're more qualified, or, I'm a mom of a 4-month-old son. Like, I'm just going to kind of coast for a little while. It's not the right time in my life to really go for what I want. And yet there was this vision for something far greater. And I also still felt stuck financially. I wanted to have a 7-figure plus business. I wanted to be able to do things like retire my husband, Jason, who at the time was a full-time night shift respiratory therapist, working during COVID, right? Like in Atlanta, commuting, crazy commute, working during COVID, although I will say COVID in Atlanta, suddenly the traffic wasn't nearly as bad. And that was, he no longer had a 2-hour commute, which is nice. But he didn't want to do that anymore. He wanted to go back to school and become a doctor. And yet financially, we needed his income as well. I wanted to live a more expansive life. I wanted to go on a lot of luxury first class trips. I wanted to be able to support my family in different ways, live a different lifestyle, give on a different level. And yet that wasn't possible because I was hiding and because I was playing small and I wasn't allowing more into my life. And so it was right around this time that I read a book called Bronnie Ware's Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. If you're not familiar with the book, Bronnie was a hospice care worker, and she sat on people's deathbeds. And she said, right before people die, there's 5 most common regrets that they share. And the number one regret was, I wish I had had the courage to live a life true to me rather than what everyone else expected of me. And there was just something about hearing that in that moment in my life where, again, things were better. They were much better than they had been. But I knew that I was being called to my own version of greatness. I knew that I was being called, I knew that I wanted more. And again, there was nothing convenient about the timing. 4-month-old son. I was like, I'm comfortable. I'm going to kind of coast for a bit right now. But I read that and I realized how much I was still hiding behind other people, waiting for someone to come tell me that I was good enough or that it was time or that I was qualified. Right around that same time too, my podcast co-host, who was a dear friend, passed away at age 39 in his sleep, leaving behind a wife and 5 kids. And I wasn't that much younger than him at the time. And I just thought, gosh, I hope I have a lot longer. I think I have a lot longer. I intend to have a lot longer. And if I only had, I think at the time it was like 4 years, it was a 4-year difference in our age. If I only had 4 years left, could I say that I had played full out? Could I say that I had really gone for it? Could I say that I had seen what was actually possible in my life? And the answer was absolutely not. Absolutely not. So long story short, and again, I share more of the full story here in Permission to Be Powerful. So you're welcome to go grab that book and hear more about it. And there's other really powerful stories of members of our community who have also decided to be in their full power. But from that point, I just decided, I don't care what it takes. I don't care what I have to do, but I will no longer live a half-lived life where I was doing what I call putting my life on layaway, saying someday, when it's convenient, when the money's there, when the stars align, when someone else tells me it's time, then I will go for what I want and I will have the life I want. And I just realized in that moment, like, no one is coming to tell you that it's time. No one is coming to tell you that it's good enough. If you're launching a business and you're waiting for your first client to come in to tell you that you're good enough or you're qualified, you're going to be waiting a long time, my friend. You've got to actually decide for yourself that what you have is great. And I'll work with clients on making a list of all the reasons why they are so qualified to be, like, why they are the perfect coach or service provider for their clients, why they're qualified to be on the stage, because the world is only going to mirror your own thinking about you. Everything is just a mirror. Your bank account is a mirror of your level of wealth consciousness and your level of worthiness. Your how many clients you have or the clients you serve are a mirror of how good you think you are at what you do. All right. And we cannot wait for external validation to come tell us that it's time. And for those of you who have maybe already built something that's pretty successful, but you're looking to go to another level, you've got to up your level of self-worth. You've got to up how much you believe in yourself. You've got to up your wealth consciousness, right? A seven-figure wealth consciousness is different from a six or multi-six-figure wealth consciousness. You've got to get sold on you, because everyone else is just mirroring back to you how you're thinking and feeling about yourself. All right. So I say all of that to say that I kind of realized in that moment how much I was waiting for someone else to come tell me that I could actually go for what I wanted. And it was just this epiphany of like, no one's coming to tell you. And so I decided to get way out of my comfort zone. I decided to face every limiting belief I had ever had about myself, about what's possible. I decided to finally tackle all my money demons once and for all, invested $50,000 that I didn't have in a 6-month coaching program, partially because I knew it was going to make me so uncomfortable financially that I would have to deal with everything that I hadn't been dealing with about money. And I'll tell you, it did. But it was beautiful because I went into it with the intention of, I am finally done with living my life being so controlled by money and being so controlled by fear and being so controlled by worrying about what everyone else thinks outside of me instead of just living for myself, right? You're the only one who has to live your life. You're the only one who's got to experience it every day. So you might as well make it something that you love. And so in a short amount of time, a very short amount of time from there, started doing things very differently, started thinking differently, started facing all of the limiting beliefs I had about money, about what was possible for me. And the result was that in 6 weeks of making that decision to change, I went from being stuck at the same level for over 10 years, struggling, self-doubt, anxiety, panic attacks, eating disorder, to truly quantum leaping, going from 100K years to 100K months, healing the money stuff, finally, once and for all, launching our brand, launching our business. And when I look at what has happened and manifested in that period of time since then, and I look at my team, I look at all of you on this call, I look at our clients. We serve clients around the world now to help them ascend their business, their sales, but also really the deeper work is around stepping into the fullness of who they are. It is a very humbling experience. And what I have learned from that is that calling on your heart, whether it's to, again, quantum leap your corporate income so that you can buy the home and take care of your family at a different level, whether it's you want to launch a business and you feel like you have no idea where to start, but there's something that's speaking to you, or you're already an entrepreneur, you're a business owner, maybe you're just starting off, maybe you're already pretty successful for most people's definitions, but you know that there's something far greater for you. And that's a lot of who we work with in our mastermind. But wherever you fall on that spectrum, again, your desires are green lights. And what I didn't know back then, when I made that very scary feeling choice to invest in myself, what felt like very heavily at the time, to get someone comfortable, was that there would be all of you who also were going to be on this journey in a different way and wanting to ascend and grow in your own way. And for each and every one of you, there are so many people, so many opportunities, so many circumstances in your life that will unfold when you say yes, but only from a place of you saying yes. Yes to going for it. Yes to getting uncomfortable. Yes to getting out of your box. Yes to whatever the thing is. Like even Cindy, I'm looking at you here on this call and your beautiful home you're living at in Florida right now, right? Like Cindy has dramatically transformed her life in less than a year. And I'm sorry to be calling you out, but I think that you embody this material as well. Cindy is in our community, in our 10K club, and she has dramatically transformed in a short amount of time and is inspiring others to do the same now. But you didn't know that all of that was going to unfold when you first said yes to yourself and to your desires. And it is a continual process of trusting yourself. It's a continual process of being willing to get wildly uncomfortable. There's nothing comfortable about a lot of this journey. But one of the things that I also know is that we reach a point in our lives where whatever our comfort zone is becomes our cage. And that is the point at which you have to make a choice and you have to make a decision and you have to know. My friend Roy Vaden talks about this. He says, your calling is someone else's signal. So that calling to do what it is that you want to do, if it's you want to elevate your business and build something that's maybe you're multi-six and you want to go to seven, multi-seven beyond, you want to speak on the bigger stages, you want to launch the podcast, you want to do the thing. Part of why you want to do that is because it's not only about you. Yes, it's about you. Yes, it's going to bless your life. Yes, having an overflow of money and more than enough and a beautiful client load, like, yes, that is all beautiful. And there are so many people around the planet who are waiting for you to do the thing, whether it's your family, your clients, your colleagues, and a lot of people you don't know yet, who you haven't been connected with yet, because it happens when you say yes. And I look at, even just again, our community, and some of the people some are now team members, some are clients, but Laura doubling her corporate income within 6 months in this work. I don't know how many of y'all are in corporate, but that's pretty darn impressive to double your corporate income in 6 months. Or Kat, and I think Kat had to hop off and we'll hop back on. But she's a success advisor for many of you here at this event, going from being a nurse making $3,000 a month to, being a super successful sales leader, entrepreneur. I don't know what she's making right now, but she's turned her annual income into her monthly income. And she did that within just a few months of this work. We had someone in our community last week text me, an entrepreneur already running a very successful business, making what a lot of people would consider a ton of money, that she has made more in the first 2 months of this year than she did in half of last year, by embodying this material. Or I think about a member, a graduate of our 10K club, who her story was similar to mine. She'd been stuck at 10K months for about 10 years. And within a few months of joining the community and the program and being in it, she was doing about $50,000 months in sales. And people in her company are like, what are you doing? And she actually used some of that to do an all expenses paid trip for her family this past holiday season for Christmas, and to put them all up and have a private chef dinner. And it was just really beautiful. So I say all of that to say, you may hear stories of people today and tomorrow where you're like, your brain may want to tell you, oh, they can do it, but not me. And the most transformational moment comes, because I used to think that. I used to look at my vision board and feel really frustrated. How many of you have done that, where like you put the things up on the vision board and then you hear people talking about, oh, I manifested my vision board and I quantum leaped and blah, blah, blah. I used to hear people say that and I would want to gag. I would be like, come on, y'all. Like, there must be something special about you that, but I'm not. I can't do that. And what I have learned is that was actually ego. That was 100% my ego, because there is nothing different about someone who is quantum leaping or some of these stories and you, other than your belief that it is possible for you. So it took a very healthy level of humbling myself and realizing that I wasn't so special that these things could work for everyone else, but not for me. And it sounds funny to say, like, it actually took humility to quantum leap. It does. And so what I would encourage you as we go throughout today and tomorrow is to notice, is any part of me like saying, oh, well, they can have it, but not me? Also pay attention to what you hear someone else did and like what's resonating with you. Those are the things that you are meant to do. Those are the things that you are capable of and more. and flipping it instead from, well, they can do it, but not me, to, well, if they can do it, why can't I as well? Like there's nothing different, right? There's nothing different. That's when you're in your power, is when we can use other people's stories, other people's quantum leaps to mirror to us what is possible for us as well. So with that, I'm going to give you all a few minutes to journal and to reflect. And I'm going to give you a couple of questions, and I will type these in the chat too. But what I want you to start with is just a healthy self-awareness of where are you currently holding back or playing smaller in your life than you know is actually possible for you? Where are you holding back or playing smaller than you know is possible for you? So that's going to be your first one. And I realize as I say that I should close the loop on the rest of my story. After the quantum leap, yes, the things that were on the vision board have happened. I've been able to retire my husband. I've been able, like we're here in Maine. It's snowing right now, y'all. It's snowing end of March. It's the only reason I would be in Maine right now, but I'm here because he's going to school here and it's beautiful, but it is snowing. But have been able to do those things, have been able to support our family. So I realized I never closed the loop on that, but I had to start by asking questions like this. So number one question, where are you currently holding back or playing smaller than what you know is possible for you? And then we're going to be real honest. All right. You don't have to share this with anyone, although if you feel called to share in the chat, that's beautiful too, because everyone gets to be on this journey together. And everyone will be able to relate, but you are going to, hold on, I'm trying to get the formatting fixed on this. There we go. You're going to look at, what is it costing you? What is it costing your family or loved ones? And then you're going to look at, what is it costing the world for you to not play full out? You know, even Corey, I think about you with launching your nonprofit recently. Like you're in the earlier stages of it right now, but like the lives that you're going to change and that you're already changing from having gotten way out of your comfort zone and doing this. And like, if you had held back or said, well, you know, not me, or I'm not qualified, or this or that, then there's literally people who would be struggling and suffering because you hadn't gone for it. So again, this is just healthy self-reflection. I'm going to play some music. Team, if you can let me know if there's any issues hearing this, but I'm going to give you maybe 4 to 5 minutes to journal on that. See, I did that for years and it was December. Yeah, just December, like just a few months ago. It's beautiful. So let me share my audio and then go ahead and start journaling. I'll get a song pulled up. All right, you all. So, you may still have a little bit more you want to reflect on. I'm sitting here doing this with you because no matter what you do or where you go or how much of your dream life you may feel like you're already living, there's always another level. And there's always that next level of self-awareness that we get to have when we are being called to more. And I'm doing it, like I said, I'm doing this along with you. So if anyone wants to share in the chat anything that showed up for you with that, absolutely, please do. I think that it's very inspiring to see from others, just places where others will see their own potential in you. They'll see like, yes, I'm also playing small here. Yes, I've also been holding back here, and be inspired. That's the important thing, is now what do we do with this self-awareness? So that's the first step, is really being willing to look at, where am I holding back? Where am I playing small? What is it costing me? Because a lot of times we look at, investing in ourselves or starting the business or working in coaching or whatever the thing is that you want to invest in. And we think about, oh, well, it's going to cost me this or that. But we don't stop to ask, what is it costing me right now to not be playing full out, to not be going for what I want? There's many of you who are maybe earning like multi-six figures, and you're like, you know what? I want to do seven. I want to do beyond that. Well, that's the fact that you haven't done it yet. That's costing you $500,000, $1 million more, right? So and it's not just that. There's the emotional piece, there's the impact piece as well. So we're not going to stay stuck in pain for long here or forever here, but I think it is important to look at it through that lens, to realize that the world needs you, your family needs you, the people around you need you, and most importantly, you you deserve to live life as the fullest expression of you. You deserve to be wildly successful, to be wildly financially abundant, to live in the type of home that you want to live in, to drive the type of car you want to drive. Y'all who work with me know it's like I love the Louboutins, and I love donating to charity. Like I'm here for all of here for all of it. I love the material goods and luxury, and I also care about making an impact and doing the things. So we're here for all of it as well. So what I want to share with you here is I want to take you through a framework that we teach called the 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth. And y'all, I am going to bust out some slides for this, so just hold on. It's 7, it's not a lot, but this is what downloaded when I looked back at my own journey of being stuck and struggling and feeling just unworthy for so long, to suddenly 10xing, suddenly quantum leaping. And I actually worked way less during that time. I said, how in the world did it happen? What shifted? What changed? And this framework downloaded we call it the 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth. And it's something that we teach in our community. We teach it in our 10K club. We go deeper into this material in our mastermind, 50K club. And then we also hold events that are focused on this content. But I want to teach you at a high level what this is now, because to me, this is part of the path. This is a really important part of the path of getting unstuck and living that fullest expression of you. And also for any of you who are like, you know what, how many of you, just out of curiosity, you're doing a lot of the right things, like you're taking a lot of action in your business or in your sales, but you're still feeling like you're maybe waiting on that quantum leap experience, like the money hasn't caught up, the results haven't caught up yet. That this framework helped me unlock another level, and it helped me get unstuck. So this is what we teach as the foundation for everything in our curriculum. So I'm going to let me share my screen here. All right. Can everyone see that? Okay. 4 quadrants of quantum sales growth. Okay, beautiful. So again, we have deep dive trainings in all of this, on all of this in our program and in our courses. but I'm going to do really high level on this. So we call these the 4 M's. So they all start with an M, makes it really easy to remember. And the first quadrant is, we call it mind over matter. Now, when you hear me say that, um, your brain probably goes to like, oh, just push through. Like that's what we've been taught mind over matter is, right? That's actually not what I mean by this. What I mean by this is how your mind literally influences the physical 3D matter in your life. So a lot of the work that we do in the community is actually, it's based on neuroscience. It's based on the power of the subconscious mind. We pull that in and weave that in here a lot. So according to neuroscience, 95 to 98% of your results in life are based on subconscious beliefs, inner programming, your self-concept. And part of why I personally know, like I struggled for so long and wanted more, wanted to have the 7-figure business, wanted to live my dream life, wanted to have the homes, wanted to have the impact, but I never did it, was that I never changed my self-concept. So I had the self-concept of a woman who had a pretty good life, who was pretty successful, who earned low 6 figures. And from that place, because our beliefs create our thoughts, which influence our emotions and our actions, and that's what determines our results, everything I did was only in alignment with being a 6-figure earner. So nothing ever changed. And because in life, we don't get what we want, we get what we are. And so when we're working with our clients on this, a lot of what this looks like is looking at, all right, what results do you want in life? Like, let's say you want to, get to 2 million this year in your sales. All right, well, it is going to be a different version of you who does that than the version of you who's maybe making 500,000 or 1 million or wherever you are right now. So you're going to have to think different thoughts. You're going to have to feel different feelings, and you're going to have to take different actions as well. But so there's a ton that goes into this. But if you feel like you're taking all the right actions and doing the things, but something is still feeling like a struggle, something is still feeling hard, there's a program, there's a belief, something that you may have picked up on in the first 7 years of your life, which is when a large part of our operating system in our mind is being programmed. Or we can, of course, develop beliefs later on in life. But there's something that is in conflict with what you want. And that's part of what we love doing, is teaching you how to reprogram your beliefs, your mindset, your operating system to be in alignment with what you want. Because once you get your subconscious mind on board with what you want, once you start seeing yourself as a 7-figure earner, as a kick-ass partner, parent, and very successful entrepreneur, whatever it is that you want, you will start to have, your results will start to shift. The whole job of the subconscious mind is to make whatever the programs are within it your reality. So you don't have to do all the heavy lifting yourself. Your job is to be very self-aware on what thoughts, feelings, and actions, like who do I need to be to have this result? That's what this is about. The second quadrant here is, hold on, let me go into this. There we go, money. Now, we're going to talk about this a lot more tomorrow. This is probably one of my favorite topics to teach. I love, love, love working with clients on ascending to new levels of money. What I have learned and what I've experienced in my life, and especially these past few years, is that any level of money is available to you. All right, any level of money is available to you. And there's so much that contributes to how much we earn, how much we bring in our business and our sales. And it is, the primary factor is not how hard are you working, how many emails are you sending, how many cold calls are you doing. So much of it is your wealth consciousness, where you are thinking from. Are you thinking from a 6-figure level? Are you thinking from a multi-6-figure level, a 7-figure level, beyond? How worthy do you feel of the money you desire? Are there money blocks or limiting beliefs, which many of us have? We've been taught a lot about money over the years. Money doesn't grow on trees. Money is the root of all evil. That is not the case at all. Money is neutral. Money is a tool. It is an energy. It is designed to help you live your life. I am a woman who I would have never said this like years ago because I would have been ashamed. Like, I love and appreciate money. I really do. It empowers me to live my life, to contribute at a higher level. It empowers me to put our kids in a fantastic school. It empowers me to, we bought a new home a few months ago, beautiful home. It empowers us to do that. It empowers us to give, to share. Money is a beautiful tool, right? It is a tool, but you have to know how to clear money blocks. You have to know how to align with the frequency of money that you want. And again, any levels available. I've shared, for those of you who are in the community, the story of working with a billionaire client last year. I flew out to California to work with this client, and he makes 20 to $40 million a day. All right. How many of you are sitting here thinking like, like making $1 million this year feels really hard, right? How many of you were there, whatever your goal is? If someone else can make 20 to $40 million a day, so can you. Now, that may not be required for you like that. I honestly don't know what I would do with that level of money, and that's fine. I don't personally have aspirations, at least not right now in my present level of self-concept, I wouldn't know what to do with it. So I'm not a match for it, and that's okay. When we're working with money specifically, I want to get you out of any energy of like validation or thinking, oh, well, I'll be good enough when I make this amount. Instead, what I want to get you to is, what is the fullest expression of you, for you and only you? What type of home is going to feel right, or homes? What type of car do you want to drive, or vehicles do you want to have? What types of experiences do you want to have in your life? This is so important. How do you want to give? How do you want to contribute? How do you want to live? And then based on that, your definition of abundance and whatever it is for you that's going to empower you to live that most abundant life, like that's going to be different for every single one of you. All right. But what I am certain of is that there is a fuller expression available to you. There is part of you that desires more than you have experienced so far. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's actually how you are wired, right? For my consultants, we were talking about this yesterday on our call. You are wired for expansion. So money, clearing money blocks, aligning with the frequency of what you desire, feeling worthy of what you want, because your level of income will never exceed your level of self-worth. These are all pieces of it, really important pieces of it. The third M is masculine and feminine energy. Now, this doesn't actually have anything to do with being a man versus a woman. We all have both types of energy in us. All right. Masculine energy is the most common example I use is the example of this cup with water. So this cup here is the structure. It holds the water within. This is masculine energy. It's important. So think about this like the action that you're taking every day in your business, structure, tools, technology, your CRM, etc. It's masculine energy is also goal oriented. It's destination focused. Beautiful things. This is all important. However, I shouldn't say however, I should say and. Many of us, not all, but many have operated almost entirely in masculine energy without realizing it for a long time. There is a second part of this, and this is actually the energy that we quantum leap from, which is feminine energy. Feminine is about the vision. Feminine is also flow state. Sometimes when I'm working with especially male clients, well, that will be more accessible, like thinking about, okay, flow state. I understand what that is. Feminine is about receiving, right? The masculine is about giving. The feminine is about receiving. So if you're taking a lot of action, but you're not, getting the results that you want, you're very heavy in masculine energy right now. And again, that applies whether we're male, female, whatever gender. The feminine energy is the water in this cup. It's what actually gives me life. If this cup was empty, it would do nothing for me, right? So feminine is about thinking way bigger. Feminine is about enjoying the process. It's about pleasure. It's about all of those things. And so part of how we help our clients quantum leap and part of how you will step into your full power is learning how to integrate both of those. And that was hard for me at first because I was only comfortable in masculine. I was only comfortable in taking action. But when I learned how to integrate feminine, that was when I 10x'd in 6 weeks. And again, it was working fewer hours. All right. So you will never quantum leap from pure masculine energy. You will quantum leap from the feminine. We want to be able to use the masculine to support us, the structure, the tools to support us, but not to cripple us or chain us. And then the final quadrant here is method. This is what you're doing. This is the strategy. I love method. I enjoy it. I enjoy strategy. Like I mentioned before, a lot of my background was working with New York Times bestselling authors, top 10 podcasters, very, very successful entrepreneurs, corporate sales leaders on their strategy. So can do that all day. It's a lot of what we teach in our programs, and it's important. And it is not the biggest part by any means. So again, a lot of our clients are maybe like doing the right things, taking the right actions, but they're not quantum leaping and they don't understand why. Well, it's because you've been focused so much on what you're doing, not who you're being. So these first three, we actually call these the big three: mind over matter, money, masculine and feminine energy. And again, in the 10K club or 50K club, there's a full training suite that goes deep. It's probably like it's not probably, it is like hundreds of hours of training that you have access to on demand that you own for life to get you just fully integrated into this. But these first three are the big three. And again, according to neuroscience, our self-concept, our identity, our self-beliefs, our subconscious programming is what contributes to 95 to 98% of our results. The method is only 2 to 5% of it. The strategy is only 2 to 5% of it. So I wanted to teach you that framework because that is when I look at how did I quantum leap so fast, that's what happened. And so we now use that as the foundation for everything that we teach. So if you have questions on that, if you want to go deeper into that, your success advisor can also help you with that. Or when we open up for coaching today, we can do that. By the way, hello for those of you who have been joining live. Now, I love seeing your beautiful faces. Amy, I'm so glad. I know you bent time and space to make it happen to be here. So I'm so glad that you're here. But what I want to do here is take maybe just a minute to help you connect with who you are as what we'll call the $1 million version of you. So for some of you, that may literally be your goal right now. For others, I want you to think about it as just like, if I was in my full power, right? If I was fully expressed, if I stopped playing small, if I go back to what I was journaling about before, where with a healthy dose of self-awareness, you know where you're playing small. Like if I stopped doing that and I was that best version of me, if I was in my full power, what would that look like? And who would I be? All right. So if you're driving, pull over if you're going to do this with us. Otherwise, you can just listen in and do this later. This will be recorded, so you'll get the replay of this later. But we're just going to take a minute and really connect with that $1 million version of you. And then from there, we'll open it up to a little bit of journaling and reflection and then some coaching as well before we complete today. So getting yourself to a place where you can be comfortably seated, closing your eyes, and just really anchoring into what you came here for today. Anchoring into the fact that you are here for a powerful reason. There is some stirring, some calling, some desire for more, some desire for expansion that is speaking to you right now. And it may feel large, it may feel overwhelming. You may feel like you have no idea how it's going to happen. And that's actually exactly how you know that you are ready and poised to quantum leap. And we're just going to connect with possibility in this moment, what you are being called here for today. So, taking a deep breath in through your nose, and just audible exhale out, just releasing any of the natter, any of the chatter in your mind, the old beliefs, the old programs, the old mind viruses, the things that just no longer serve and are no longer going to be part of what you allow to consume your mind, your mental real estate. Taking another deep breath in, inhaling in truth, inhaling in energy, inhaling in life, and releasing. And continuing to breathe in and just feeling in this moment, very, very present. Remembering that in the present moment is the source from which we create. It's the source from which we receive divine downloads. It's the source from which we stop playing small. We allow ourselves to really connect with that fullest expression. And right now in this moment, just kind of seeing a beautiful white light of energy coming through the top of your head and clearing out just anything that, again, is taking up space in your mind that no longer serves. Feeling yourself opening, feeling yourself expand, feeling yourself connecting with your higher self, with your divine truth. And we're just going to go to that place in your mind right now where all of your goals and dreams are accomplished. And I want you to just pay attention to in this moment, what are you experiencing from this place? Notice the environment that you're in. Is it a certain type of home? Is it a vacation home? Maybe you're on a stage and you hear applause. You're just looking around and seeing what your environment is. Noticing who's around you. How are they celebrating you? What's changed in their lives? How have you impacted them? Feeling now more than ever how full your bank account is. You are truly living in overflow. You have the most beautiful relationship with money. It supports you in your deepest, highest desires. And you're fully trusting yourself in ways that you never have before. This is the $1,000,000 version of you. This is what's possible when you step into that fullest expression of you. This already exists. And we remember that as we experience it now, that all we have to do is line up with it. All we have to do is be available to receive it. All we have to do is be available to experience it in the 3D as you are in your mind right now. So taking another deep breath in. Thank you for what showed up. Thank you for the vision. Thank you for the picture of what's possible and where we are being called to go next. Taking a deep breath and releasing. And when you are ready, you can come back into this moment. Open your eyes. And one of the things that I know to be true is that the only reason you can see something in that vision, the only reason you can connect with it is because you actually have the ability to experience it and to create it and to live it now. Okay. So for those of you who want to share anything that showed up for you with that in the chat, please do. Would love to see. All right. And the point of that is really to help you connect with what you're being called to do right now. And even more importantly, who you're being called to be. Because the way that we now get there and the way that we call that in and bridge the gap is by embodying that $1,000,000 version of you. And she or he already exists. And not only is it the version of you who's going to get you the best results in your life, but you're also going to be happier than ever. You're going to feel freer than ever. You're going to feel more confident than ever. And so that's what we love helping you do. So with that, I want to open it up for anyone who would like coaching support around anything that showed up so far today. And this is, this is beautiful. If you're currently a member of the community, awesome. Raise your hand. Let's have a coaching question. If you're not a member of the community, I would love to support you in anything that has showed up. So you can just raise your virtual hand. Again, this is really tuning into like, what questions am I having so far around this? Maybe your mind's getting caught up in the how, or maybe you're like, man, I'm ready to go and live this. Like, what, what do I do? It could be limiting beliefs that have showed up. But I want to support and empower all of you who are here to have the experience of getting some support around that. Amy is saying, connected with the version of me that is in flow, doing what I love. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, let's have you. So you raised your hand. Awesome. Let's have you come off mute and ask your question.
Okay. How are you?
I'm amazing. I'm so glad you're here.
Me too. I thought I was gonna miss it. I was like, hurry up.
Here.
Anyway, so I have been, I guess, moving closer to this version of myself, and I feel that, and it's like I'm so ready, but I know that it's still just a step by step process, and I don't know. I want to know. I think I guess I've just got to keep listening to my own intuition and just continuing to follow that. But I feel like I'm really on the verge of just breaking, free from being so stagnant and stuck in everything that I've worked on and worked through over the last year and a half. But I don't even know what my question is really. But I mean, I didn't get to watch the beginning of this, so I'll definitely go back and rewatch it. But I just feel like I'm so close. I've had so many things happening. I've been able to speak in front of a school and in front of some children. I've been on a podcast. I've had people interested. I haven't quite gotten a flow of clients going yet, which is what I'm working on. But I just guess I'm asking, just continue to feel myself in that flow and just see myself there, and like it'll just happen.
Well,
I-
yeah,
you know.
these are good questions. These are really good questions. So I would say a couple of things. So one, how do we know that we are on track for a quantum leap? The first thing is you actually feel differently and you feel better. Before your physical results change, you
Mhm.
will feel differently. So when I'm working with clients, I mean, I've got some private clients on here where we've had these conversations. When they tell me, they'll come to a call, and the timing is different for everyone, but a lot of times it's like a month in, maybe a couple months in, and they'll say, oh my gosh, I can't explain it, but suddenly I just feel different. I feel better. I feel there's a concept we teach in the community called selling from wholeness, which is about really coming back into um, a place where you realize how whole you are. You love yourself more than ever. You realize how abundant you are, like before the bank account changes, and then the bank account always changes to mirror it. Um, kind of saying very hard to, yeah, it's like if you haven't experienced it, it's tough to describe, but that's kind of what happens. But when they tell me that, or a client say in a group project, like I'm like, you're on the right track. Like that's how I know. Emotion precedes manifestation. All right. So how do you know that you're on the right track? Number one, you feel different. Then number two, your results start changing. So that's how we know. Now, there's a few things that I would say specific to your question though, Amy. So I have been sharing this quote. I did it last week, I think, on the mastermind call. And then on Friday, when we had the mastermind here at the house, we talked about it. So let me pull this up. Ready? Hold on one second. This is, okay. This is a quote by Neville Goddard. He says, "You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe it is the only reason you don't see it."
Gotcha.
Okay.
Okay.
You are already that which you want to be, and your refusal to believe it is the only reason you do not see it. So, what does this mean? To me, when you said you're like, things are like, I feel like I'm almost there, I feel like I'm on the verge. The biggest thing that I would say, and is there action that's involved 100%, but the first step is the self-concept piece. So I would really be looking at, where am I not currently seeing myself as the incredibly successful coach that I know I'm being called to be? Like, what are my expectations? Because we get what we expect. So when I am doing outreach and when I'm putting something out there, how many people am I expecting to sign up? When I look at myself in the morning and I'm getting dressed for the day, what are my expectations for the day? What's my self-concept? How am I speaking to myself? Am I looking at myself through the lens of a world-changing coach, thought leader, consultant who has a wait list? Like, am I literally doing that? Have I believed that yet about myself? Or am I still like, oh, where are the clients? Where is it? I don't know. Where's the money? I feel like I'm so cool. So even just from your language, you're still more in the latter, which is fine, but
Mhm.
it's going to be shifting your self-concept. That's the first step. And to
Okay.
me, this is also part of why when we talk about your desires are green lights, to me, it's saying that whatever that calling is that you're working towards right now for each of you, the reason you're feeling called to it is because there is a version of you who's already doing it. There is a version of you where it's already happened. There's a version of you where it's already taken place. But it's until you actually start to see yourself there and align with that identity, and until you believe it, you're not going to experience it.
Okay.
So that's the gap that we want to close. Now, from that place, and I've experienced this multiple times in my own life and my own business, it's like you close the identity gap first. Then from that place, you are taking different action. Like, you're doing things that feel stretchy. You're getting out of your comfort zone. You're investing in yourself in different levels. You're putting yourself out there on different levels. So is there action involved? Yes, 100%. But we talk about in the community, like the difference between aligned action versus misaligned action. And when we're on the hamster wheel, just doing the same thing again and again, and we're
Mhm.
like, why am I stuck? Why am I not getting different results? That's how we know there's something in the identity or self-concept that hasn't lined up. There's some piece of it that you haven't fully bought into yet, or some piece of it that you don't feel worthy of yet.
Mm.
When you close that, you start to show up differently. You start to expect differently for yourself. You start to be more visible. You start to more boldly put yourself out there. And even the energy that you have is different.
Mhm.
The energy you have is different. One of the things that we talk about on our training calls, and there's a module on this in 10K, is the impression of increase in sales and what a difference that makes. And it's the impression of increase. It's a concept from Wallace Wattles, from years ago when he wrote the book Science of Getting Rich. But you exude a different type of energy when you feel like you already are that which you want to be, right? Because when we're in the space of want, we're actually saying, I'm not there yet. But when we close the gap and we say, I already am this, there's no longer a gap. And because we get what we are, not what we want, that's when things shift. That's when we quantum leap. So to your point before of like, does it have to be step by step? No. Is that an option? Is that a choice? Yes. Are there things in my life that I have manifested in a more step by step level? Yes. But what I am excited about and lit up about is for those of you who have felt like I feel held back, like there's something I've wanted. Sarah, for you, like we were talking about, like you're on a slingshot right now. Right? That's the quantum leap, and that's available. But it takes lining up with the identity and self-concept, and then it's going to take some stretchy action, but it doesn't have to be step by step. You can skip levels in many parts of life, in many areas of life. So that's what I would say there. Um, William, I see your hand raised. Here's what I want to do because we've got 5 minutes left. Will you come in the Marco Polo and ask your question this afternoon? For any of you who have questions or follow up from this, if you'll download the Marco Polo app, ask your question. I will do my very best to get to as many as I can today. And then we may have a little bit of time tomorrow too to do some more coaching questions. But for any of you who have questions that didn't get answered today, use that Marco Polo app. Again, we're going to close that down after this event, kind of sharing it in the chat. Beautiful. So download it, free app, ask your question, and also share your takeaways. Like I would invite all of you to go in, share your takeaways. We also appreciate when you share on social your takeaways from the event and share with your community. I think it's just, we want to help uplift the consciousness of everyone we can with this material. So if you want to share on social, that's beautiful. You can tag me at Elyse Archer so that we can see as well. But use that Marco Polo app because that's a really cool tool and resource that we don't usually open up outside of our high level clients. So for you, William, and for anyone else, a question or if a takeaway, please use the app to do that tonight.
Okay. Well, thanks. But real quick, it's for you actually. Greetings from Durham. 8 years ago, you were doing the lunch and learns at the hotel for the Chamber of Commerce where we met, and then you took off. And so my question to you was, in a minute, what was the catalyst? What was the aha moment? Or I heard your story an hour ago, but was there one moment of like crystallization, or it was a gradual thing? And I'll let you take it from there. That's all.
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. It's been both. There's been moments, there's definitely been like every step along the way where I would make a small shift, and that's been a lot of it. But there have also been true quantum leap moments, kind of like the story I shared earlier. And what I would say for those moments is that it took a level of getting fed up with staying at the same level. And it took a level of trusting myself and being willing to get so out of my comfort zone, realizing that the way I was thinking and operating at that certain level, if I didn't change it, nothing was going to change. So I had to see myself as a different woman. I had to see myself as more worthy. I had to trust in myself more. I had to trust in, I'll use the word God. People can use whatever language they want to use there. But I had to trust that calling was for a reason and realize that I was the only one who could give myself permission to do that. So there's been every single day there's work. And then there's also some of those moments that are like, whew, slingshot, like we talked about before. But it all comes down to trusting yourself and just being unavailable to play small anymore. That's really what I would say. So, all right, this was so beautiful. Tomorrow, same time, same place, same link. We'll send out a replay email tonight. But again, I want you all to come and join in the Marco Polo, share your questions, share your takeaways. My team is there to help support you as well. I'll be in a bit later today and want to answer any questions that you have from today. And even if you're a current client of ours, and you're not in a program where you have Marco Polo access, take advantage of it. Get in there, come ask your question, share your takeaways. We want to help support all of you. And for my team, if we can make sure to link the Marco Polo in the replay email that goes out today, just want to make sure we get that out so that everyone can connect there as well, as it's here in the chat, but we want to make sure people have it. And yeah, so tomorrow, wealth consciousness, profit. We're going to talk money. We're going to talk financial flow. We're going to talk abundance. It's going to be beautiful. We are so excited to see you. We love you. We appreciate you. And we will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Bye, everyone. Thanks for being here today.